Hello, my name is Keshwani. It's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for the GMAT. We have been solving GMAT math problems out of this book here, GMAT Review, the official guide, the 13th edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 280. Page 280, today is our lesson number 84. Problem number 67, that is what we're going to do. Problem number 67, the penultimate problem on the page. Number 67. What is the value of integer n? So I'm going to digress just for 1 second. Just in the event, I just used the word, and I want to make sure, even though I've covered it many times, the word that I just used was penultimate. Problem number 67 is the penultimate page plus penultimate problem on the page. 11. In addition to working with me to improve your math skill, if you're also interested in improving your vocabulary, for that very purpose, I have put together some vocabulary videos. You will find them at my channel. Just type in my name, Keshwani, and then put in vocabulary day 11. Vocabulary day 11 along with my name. It will pop right up. Watch that video. You will learn this word penultimate along with some other useful words. The words that will help you improve your vocabulary. Penultimate means second to the last. Number 67 is penultimate problem. Number 67 actually is a very straightforward problem. The question simply is, what's the value of the integer n? The first statement tells us that n times n plus 1 is 6. What the hell? If n times n plus 1 is 6, obviously n is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. That's it. It must say positive integer. What is the value of number 67, is it? Number 67, the answer is B. I caught myself. I just caught myself. That's amazing. As I was doing it, I caught myself. No, this is a tricky question. This is a little bit tricky than I thought. The answer, the n is not necessarily 2. That's not the only value of n. N could also be, you see, 2 times 3 is 6, which is why I went back to look at the problem to see if they actually say if n is a positive integer. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't say that n has to be a positive integer, which means we have to be very aware. We have to contemplate the possibility of n turning out to be a negative integer, and that is possible here. 2 times 3 is 6, and so is negative 3 times negative 2 is also 6. Now why did I put negative 3 here? Because this represents n and this represents n plus 1. If n is negative 3, then negative 3 plus a 1 is a negative 2 times a negative 3. You see, negative 3 times negative 2 turns out to be positive 2. So I caught myself in the nick of time. The first statement does not do the job. We do not know whether n is 2 or whether n is negative 3. It could be either. First statement does not do the job. A, D, B, C, E. Since the first statement by itself is not enough, the answer cannot be A. Answer cannot be A or D. It has to be either B, C, or E. Oh, it's amazing how they try to catch you, huh? I almost fell for it. Let's look at second statement, shall we? Let's see if second statement is any good. First statement is no good. Let's do second statement down here. The second statement says 2 raised to 2n equals 16. Well, 2 raised to 2n equals 16. 16 can be written as 2 raised to 4. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 2 is 16. So now we have the same basis, which means the powers have to be equal to each other. That does give us enough information. So now we know that 2n equals to 4, therefore n must be 2. It rules out the possibility of a negative number. N has to be 2 in order for this equation to hold. So the second statement does the job. Second statement by itself does the job. The answer is B. the answer is B. We had A, D, B, C, E, and we crossed out A and D, and the answer turns out to be D. The reason I wrote it here is because I shouldn't have done it over there. That work belonged to the top part. It doesn't belong there. So based on the work we did with the second statement, the answer turns out to be B. That's it. You want to do one more? Let's do one more. As I was writing, I thought it was too simple. It was just a matter of 2 times 3. And all of a sudden it dawned on me that nowhere in the problem it says that n is a positive integer. And lucky for me, the answer choice is right there. And I just flipped the page and I looked at the answer very quickly for number 67. And that's when I realized that I was about to make a mistake. And n could be positive 2 or negative 3 based on the first statement. Because all it says is that 2 consecutive integers, the product of 2 consecutive integers is 6. You see, n and n plus 1, which means they're consecutive. Product of 2 consecutive integers is 6. So I figured what could be simpler than that? It's just 2 times 3. And it's 2 times 3 and negative 3 times negative 2. Let's do next one. Problem number 68. Problem number 68, they tell us that 3 can do a job in 24 minutes. How long will K take by itself? How long will K take by itself to do the job? Obviously, I'm not writing everything. The first statement tells us that M and P can do it in 36 minutes working together. I'm not going to put there, working together. Well, if they can do the job in 36 minutes, that implies that M and P must do, let me rewrite it a little bit differently. Let me start again. So here they tell us that 36 minutes is required to do a job. Let's call it one job. M and P take 36 minutes to do one job in 36 minutes. That implies that in 12 minutes, they must do a third of a job, because 12 is 1/3 of 36. That also implies that in 24 minutes, they must do 2/3 of a job, because 24 minutes is 24 minutes. They must do 2/3 of a job, because 24 minutes is how long it takes for all 3 of them working together. But in 24 minutes, M and P only do 2/3 of a job. That in itself implies that K must do the remaining 1/3 of the job, in 24 minutes. Because when they are working together, all three of them take only 24 minutes to finish the job. We are told that when M and P are working together by themselves without K, it takes them 36 minutes to do the job. Well, if it takes them 36 minutes to do the job, in 12 minutes they must do 1/3, and therefore in 24 minutes, which is what they have when they're working together, all three of them, they must do 2/3 of the job, which means this K guy must do the remaining 1/3 in 24 minutes. That's because that's how long all three of them are working together. 24 minutes comes from right here. That's how long all three of them are working together. It does 1/3 of a job in 24 minutes. Well, if it does 1/3 of a job in 24 minutes, then implies that K must be able to do the entire job in 24 times 3, or how much is 24 times 3? I don't know how the hell 24 times 3, how the hell do I know? I know 25 times 3 is 75. If 25 times 3 is 75, 24 being 1 less than 25, it must be 72. Now this part was not necessary, we don't actually have to figure it out, we just have to realize immediately that we can figure out how long k takes. As soon as we find out that k does 1/3 of a job in 24 minutes, we are done. If k does the job in 1/3 of the job in 24 minutes, of course we can figure out how long it takes him to do the entire job, 3 times the amount of time. So the first statement by itself does enable us to answer the question. The question being how long will k take by itself, turns out to be 72 minutes. Therefore, so now we write down our AD BCE. AD BCE. Because the first statement by itself does do the job, answer cannot be B, C, or E. It's got to be either A or D. Let's look at second statement, shall we? Second statement says K and P together can do it in 48 minutes. K and P can do it in 48 minutes. Now we are interested in how long K takes by himself. How long K takes by himself. I think these are machines. And I do not know how I go around assigning them a masculine gender. That's because the English language has no neutral gender. Alas. So K and P can do it in 48 minutes. What I just said actually is not logically correct, because just because it doesn't have neutral gender doesn't mean that I have to employ masculine gender. But anyway. So K and P can do the job in 48 minutes. How can we figure out how long K takes by herself? Oh, you see, by herself. We can't. We cannot. We know how long they take together. How long she takes to finish the job by herself, who the hell knows? This is not enough. Second statement does not do the job. Therefore, the answer is A. Because there is no way for us to break it down like we did in the last one. We had a way to break it down and get the K, isolate the K by itself. Here we cannot do that. Because K and P are together, lumped together, 48 minutes. We cannot separate the K by ourselves. That's it. We're done. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay? Bye now.